Hello. So today I wanted to talk about my psilocybin journey because I haven't actually spoken about this to lots of people before. I have spoken to friends and family about it, um, but I love it because my psilocybin journey showed me what unconditional love felt like. So this was a really big experience for me. So psilocybin are magic mushrooms, okay, and they can really take you in within yourself. You have like this enhanced experience of introspection where you go within. Sometimes you can feel euphoria, so joy, love, happiness. Um, Sometimes some of my trauma came up for me. So sometimes that happens too. Sometimes it's a really spiritual or mystical experience. I still think my journey was a spiritual and a mystical experience. It was wonderful. Yeah, I'll go through it, okay, and then I'll explain it, and um, you'll get a bit more of an idea of what happens. Um, so because of my background, I had no idea what it was like going into a mushroom journey or a psilocybin journey. I had no idea what it would feel like. I was a bit frightened before I went into it. In all honesty, I was, because I knew on some level, I knew that I would lose complete control, right? And I've always been very much in control of my life. I've always wanted to have control of everything, okay? Not now so much, definitely not now, but yeah, beforehand, most definitely. And a lot of that control comes from fear, from not knowing who you are and where you come from, that you are unconditionally loved, that you are absolutely, oh, I'm not going to say I want to say taken care of, but um it's not someone outside taking care of you, it's this higher part of you, this spiritual part of you, the spirit part of you, God source, whatever you call it. Um, because this body is not who I am, okay? I am let's say, a spiritual being come down into form, into a human body. I am consciousness, which is all that is and everything in this physical body. So, so because of my background, because there was a bit of quite a bit of trauma when I was a child, and I didn't ever feel loved, um, I felt very much that I wasn't wanted, and that I was kind of I was a middle child. There's a big story in there, right? I was a middle child. I wasn't a boy. I should have been a boy. I wasn't like my sister. All this stuff that goes on in families, okay? And so I felt that intensely. And what that made me assume was that I wasn't wanted, I wasn't loved, because obviously if somebody tells you you were a mistake, you kind of we make up these things sometimes in our own mind, right? We kind of, well, if I'm a mistake, then I shouldn't be here. So then you spend your whole life wondering what you're doing here. Like, well, what's my purpose then? What am I doing here? Um, so a lot of those feelings in my life, and yeah, just not knowing what the point of it all is. If you're here and you're not really wanted, you weren't wanted, then what does any of that mean? So anyway, because of that background, I didn't know that I would ask this, but when I got into my psilocybin journey, I was about an hour in, I think. And the first question that I asked, and it's really funny when I speak like this, right? Because I wasn't, it's not like I was asking a question. It's like this question arose from me. Um, and when you go into a psilocybin journey, you're not like your mind, you're not in your mind like you are here, right? You're kind of in another reality. So, so I'm being shown something. The mushrooms, these are plant medicines, right? And they work so well in the body. They show you what it is that you need to see in order to discover who you are more. So the first question that I did ask was, what does real love feel like? Because I never felt like I'd ever experienced it. What is real love? What does it feel like? And straight away, because you know, you kind of know what you're doing in this experience. It's not like I don't know anything. I know, and I knew this question was coming up out of me, and I knew I wasn't speaking it or anything. It was just kind of arising. And um, I knew that all of this emotion all of a sudden came out of my body, and I just cried and cried and cried and cried. All of this emotion. Now, this is emotion that is obviously stored inside of me all of my life because I've been assuming, well, for one, I'm not loved. I don't know what love is. Um, I don't feel it. It's not like I couldn't give love in my life because I could do that. I could love my family and love my children. I just couldn't understand what it felt like to be loved. And if you've been brought up in a family where love isn't shown, not between my parents, not between my siblings, they're just, there were no hugs and cuddles, holding hands, um, laughing and kissing and all that kind of stuff. I didn't see any of that in my family, right? So it's kind of like, if you've never experienced it, you don't even know that it's something that's missing. It wasn't until I got older that I realized I haven't, I don't know what that experience is. I don't know what it feels like. So of course, I mean, it seems obvious for me now that the first question that I would ask is, what does real love feel like? And then I had this outpouring of all of this emotion because it has to be released, okay? It had to come out of my body because I've been storing it forever. And of course, that is what ends up, we create disease within our body, dis-ease within the body because we're holding all of this emotion within ourselves. And I just let it all out. Well, a lot of it out. I won't say all of it, but I let a lot of it out. And then I was taken into what real love feels like. So when I say taken in, it's like you go within yourself. It's very hard to explain in words because everything that I experienced comes through frequency. I'm pretty sure it comes through frequency. So then I have to put that into words to try and explain it. Okay. So I was taken into what real love feels like. And for a long time, I couldn't speak about this without crying because the emotion of the feeling would still come up in my body. I've kind of integrated a lot of that now. So I love talking about it because I can still remember it and I can feel it. Um, but yeah, at first it was quite challenging to talk about it because all of that feeling of the love would come up. And it's such an overwhelming feeling, especially for somebody that feels like she's never experienced it. The human part of me that felt like I'd never experienced it, because the spiritual part of me, the consciousness, the all that is, all is love. It is unconditional love. And I haven't, I'm still that. I'm still that. It's just that I've come down into a body to be a human here. And I've forgotten that that is what I truly am. This unconditional love, this, this consciousness that is all that is, that consists of everything, that is in everyone and everything. There's nothing that can't have consciousness within it because everything is of God. Everything is um, creative and we are all that. So this is within everybody. But this unconditional love was like nothing I'd ever felt before. It was overwhelming. It was joyful. I had people with me during this experience who were supporting me, which is really important. I wouldn't have done this on my own, but I had support and they were wonderful. And I would be like, hold my hand, hold my hand. We're going to go into the garden. Come into the garden with me. Come and play. And I was in such joy, such unconditional love. There's nothing outside of unconditional love. There can't be, right? Otherwise, it can't be unconditional. If you say unconditional love and then you say, yeah, but that's, you know, there's nothing outside of unconditional love. There literally can't be. So the love that we experience here as humans is mostly conditional love, unless you decide to be who you truly are. And then you can experience unconditional love, right? Um, so the kind of love that I've experienced before and that most of us experience is the love that we have when we go into a relationship. And it doesn't matter who it's with. If it's with a partner, it's still unconditional if we say, I'll love you if you do this thing for me. I don't like this thing about you. So if you change it for me, I will love you. When we say to somebody, I don't like this about you, we're being unconditionally loving, right? You might be able to say and saying it out of love, but it's still conditional. It's conditional. I think I said unconditional. I mean conditional. It's conditional loving. If you say to somebody, yeah, if you do this thing for me, I'll love you. If you it's a bit like if somebody in the relationship, if somebody goes out and they want to have a good time and you don't like that, that is conditional loving, right? That's not unconditional loving because you would allow them to do anything, be themselves. You would totally trust that they are that love too. So they're never going to do anything to hurt you ever. That is unconditional love, right? There's nothing outside of it. Even if we say to our children, um, get really good test results, sometimes that can appear to them that if they don't do it, they're gonna be thought less of. And that is conditional loving. So we experience a lot of that in our relationships, not a lot of this true unconditional love. And this unconditional love, which is what spirit, source, God is, what the universe is, right? This unconditional love loves us so much. There are no conditions to that love. And this is what I felt in the journey. This is what I felt like going into the garden. Like one minute I wanted to be a butterfly, then I wanted to be a bumblebee, and I'm saying to the people with me, come and play. It's beautiful here. And it is. A lot of people that have near-death experiences, they experience this when they have a near-death experience. So they leave their body sometimes and they're outside the body looking down at themselves and they go into this unconditional love. They experience it and they actually don't want to come back into the body because it's so beautiful, right? And this is who we are. This is who we truly are, this unconditional love. This is who source is, and we are not separate from that source. We are not separate from the universe, from God, whatever you want to call it. It from love. You can call it love, right? Sometimes at the beginning, I didn't like the word God, like to say, this is what I am was just too much for me. Because I didn't know what love was. I couldn't say I am God. That seemed like, some of us carry a lot of shame and a lot of guilt within us. And that would cause me to feel like I couldn't possibly say I am God. I can say it really easily now because I know it's the truth. I know that's just a name for what this is, right? This isn't what religion has taught us to be God. Like this is something, some person that judges you, that when you go to heaven, that there's a hell and there's a heaven. There is no such thing as hell. There can't be. If there's only unconditional love, right? Hell doesn't exist. And in God, that is all there is. So the only sin or hell that I know of is us not remembering who we truly are. That is the only hell or sin, because if you don't know who you truly are, you're living this life very conditionally and in a very limited way. You feel like there are lots of things you can't do, lots of things you can't have. And this unconditional love wants us to have anything and everything that we would ever want. It's only us. It's what we're doing is when we're not seeing through who we truly are, through this unconditional love, through source, through God, we are seeing through a lens of limitation. So just say as a child, I was told that I couldn't have something. It could be something that simple. And then I feel like I'm lacking because all of my life I've been told you can't have this, you can't have that. Then you grow up believing that you can't, you have that experience, you create that experience then when you're older for yourself. Like money doesn't grow on trees. Um, you know, some love comes and goes, right? In what we know as love, love can come into your life in a relationship, and when we're coming from any kind of lack or limitation or not knowing who we truly are, that relationship can't really sustain itself on the kind of conditional love that we have. I'm not saying that you can never have a relationship, a loving relationship, because you can, but there are always conditions in a relationship, and that's why we have arguments, right? In unconditional love, that doesn't exist because you can see the unconditional love in yourself and you can see it in the other person. If I'm saying that I am unconditional love, I'm God, I'm source, I am this consciousness that isn't this body, right? The consciousness is oneness, it's everything. If I'm saying that I'm that, I can't say that I'm that and not see that in everybody else. I see that in everybody else, but I know that not everybody is living from that. They're living from their limitation, from a lens that says that they're not enough. A lot of people have been told that they're not enough in their life. They've been made to feel irresponsible, or like you go to school, you get test results and those test results aren't good enough for your parents, so then you try to prove yourself, and in trying to prove yourself you're pushing yourself hard, and that's not living from who we truly are. So anyway, during this experience I was shown that, and this love was just all encompassing. I can understand why people who have a near-death experience will go um will leave their body and then not want to come back into the body. I don't want to go back, you know. Why would you, when you're in this space of unconditional love, when you're back home? This is who you truly are, right? This unconditional love is who you truly are. So why would you want to come back here where everything seems so limited and so conditional? Well, you don't have to live that way. You can discover who you are, and then you can live from that place. And they say it's like bringing heaven to earth, right? Because heaven isn't up there somewhere in the sky. It can be here too, but you have to recognize that you're not just this, you're not the drop in the ocean. I've spoken about this in videos before, right? So if you don't know about that, go and check out those videos. You're not the drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean within the drop. But some of us are playing as being just the drop in the ocean, separate from everything. We feel like we're separate from our source, from who we truly are, from where we came from. And then we're playing this game of being limited, just being the drop. But in all honesty, you are never just the drop. You are the whole entire ocean. You're all that is. You are all of consciousness and unconditional love. So then continuing on with my journey, I then got shown, this was really beautiful because it's not like I see pictures within my mind. It's like I feel the frequency of what I'm shown. And sometimes it could show me a color of that. So I saw a note. It was kind of shown to me as music. I got taken into this kind of note that was like music. It was the most beautiful harmony that ever had existed, right? It was beautiful. It was glorious. It was beautiful. And it was showing me that I was a note within the most beautiful song that makes up this whole harmony of all that we are. So I am just one note, and you are another note, and everybody else that you know are a note within this beautiful song that creates this harmony that consists of all of us, all that we are, everything. Okay, which was it was such an amazing feeling to feel that because like I said, my story was that I wasn't wanted. And what I was being shown was without me, this one little note, this song couldn't exist. So then harmony doesn't exist, right? Because we are all existence itself. We've come from this existence, this creator, this God, this source, this universe. We've come from this down into a body, but that is still who we are. We're not separate from that. It's just that when you don't know who you are and you're playing as the drop, you think you're separate from the whole ocean, but you're not. And how could you possibly fit the whole ocean into a drop, right? Because that's like what the whole ocean is me. Well, it's not this me here in the body. It's all of everything that exists. It's everywhere. So it's not just here. And it's in everyone that I see now. So I love it now because people that I may not have had wonderful relationships with, I know that this is in them. And the only reason that we couldn't see it in that moment was because we were both playing from being the drop in the ocean and not all of who we are. We are whole, complete, loved beyond measure. There's nothing wrong with any of us, right? The thing is when you believe in separation and you've come from this beautiful place down into this body, and now you're here and you're like, this is my life and it's really shit, right? You're believing in separation from your wholeness. And when you realize that this is just not who I am, that I am that wholeness, that I'm everything, I am a note within this beautiful song, and everybody else makes up the note, and we all create this wonderful harmony together, which is so loving, so so much love, right? It makes me feel emotional because I can't even explain in words what that feels like. Gosh, I thought I could get through this without this, right? It's been a long time since I've spoken about it. So, and the love is within me. It never was anywhere else. It wasn't in the relationship. It's not even in my children. As much as I love my children, right? It was within me all along, and it is within you. It's only that if we feel separate from our source, we can't feel this love. We believe that we're separate from it, but it is within each and every one of us. It truly is. Oh my gosh. It truly is. And I spoke before in a video about an experience that I had with my granddaughter where we were at her nursery. We were having it was like a come to tea day, right? Grandparents could go for tea with their grandchildren, and I was in the UK, and it was so beautiful because I got to experience this day with my granddaughter. And oh, this is going to make me cry. She literally played, she's 3 years old, right? 3 years old. She literally placed her little hand on my cheek and just looked at me. And that love, she's a mirror to the love that I already am. She's not showing me love. I know we show each other love. We hug and we kiss and we tell each other that we love each other. But the love is already within us. And she is a mirror reflecting that love back to me. So when you're seeing love in something else, whether it's an animal, a flower, a painting, another person, they are just reflecting the love back to you that you already are. It's already within you, and it's within everyone that we know. This is all that we are, right? We are this unconditional love. So it made me feel tearful because she's bringing up the feeling that was within me that I had never experienced before, apart from in my psilocybin journey. And it was just, if I'm still integrating my psilocybin journey, I'm realizing, this is what it was showing me, this love that it's within me. I mean, she feels it within her too. When she's with me, I'm the mirror to that for her too. We all have it, and it is within all of us. And it is the most beautiful feeling that you could ever imagine. So what I would say is, if you are in a relationship and somebody makes you feel love, just come back to yourself and expand that feeling right within yourself, because then you'll realize, this feeling is in me. It's not coming from out here. And what we've been doing, well, I'll say what I've been doing because this is my personal journey, but I can see it in a lot of us too. This is why our relationships don't always work out. We've been going outside of ourselves to find that love in somebody else. And of course, when that person goes away and they leave us, or we send them away, whatever happens, the love leaves too. And we are left, excuse me, we are left feeling desperate and lonely and like something is missing now. But the thing is when you realize that you are this love, that it's always been here, you never have to search for it outside of yourself again. It's not that you'll never have relationships again, you will, but you'll know that you're already whole and complete before you go into a relationship. You are already unconditional love. You are already whole and complete. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing missing. You are already all that is. You are already unconditional love. And that is a beautiful place to go into relationships with, whether it's a love relationship, whether it's friendships, whether it's with relationships with family. Okay, if you don't have great relationships with people, it's just because you don't know where you truly come from and who you are. That's it. It is, and I'm not saying it's simple to understand who you are, because all the time that we've been here, you know, from the moment we've come into, from being a baby, we've been conditioned. We've been told who we are. You're this, you're that, you know, you're not good enough, you're a disappointment, you know, all the things. And the thing is most of us believe it, and then we carry that identity around with us, and we think that's who we are. And then we take that into our relationships, and then we expect the person within the relationship to fill the gap that's missing, the hole that we feel is missing, because we're not still connected to the true love that is within all of us. We feel like there's something missing. There can't be anything missing within source, within God, within love, though. Within unconditional love, there is nothing missing. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there. I just wanted to share this journey with you. It was a while ago that I had it now. I wanted to share it with you because it was such a beautiful and profound experience. And this is what sometimes taking magic mushrooms can do for you. You know, it helped me to release a lot of the feelings that I had around not feeling love. And then it showed me, well, really, this is who you are. And it was just the most beautiful experience. So, yeah, so sharing that with you is wonderful, because then I hope you get something out of it too. Okay, that's it from me for today. I will see you again soon.